Hello, welcome back to episode numero dos of the Usually Best of Friends podcast. What's so funny?
You have me muted.
I'm bilingual. No, you're literally talking, brother.
You can hear me?
Oh my.
She never connected it.
Doofus.
It's behind there. Behind
right
you.
there.
I put it there for you.
Oh my God, I can't hear myself. Hi, guys.
Why'd you go straight to accusing me?
Because
Accuser of the brethren.
right before we began, Abraham said muting Julissa because no one wants to listen to her. So I was like, oh, snap. He wasn't kidding, bro.
That's funny.
I'm looking for something. Sorry, guys. We just
Like everything's so loud.
and I can't hear anything.
What do you mean?
I can hear perfectly fine.
Like, okay, I can hear, but it's really quiet.
What do you mean?
My head, I can't hear you guys. Oh, there we go.
Better?
Yeah.
You good, Vicky?
Yeah.
So obviously we're
Was it a
still.
burp
No, please.
right into the microphone.
That's
but
disgusting.
rude.
No. We're obviously still working out a lot of technical difficulties.
What do you mean? I went flawlessly. Except for your mess up.
Are you kidding me? We just took like a whole 60 seconds to talk about how we can't hear ourselves.
That was your fault. That had nothing to do with us.
Whatever.
Okay.
Numero dos.
Numero dos. I'm
just-
bilingual.
Duh. Yeah. Weird flags, but okay.
Wait, someone's crying. Just kidding. Sorry.
We have a visitor. We have a visitor today, and we're afraid that she'll start
A
crying.
child.
Yeah. And yeah.
What's wrong with, why is that thing red?
What?
Is that how it is?
This?
No, that thing.
This?
Yeah.
Not red.
It's just got some extra fried pieces on it.
Oh.
So
Looks
we
like
actually are no, now we're not sponsoring.
Not
But we
Vicky
are
lying. She's lying right off the bat, bro.
We
She's
are
manifesting
trying a new place here in Aurora. If you're an Aurora local, Alice's Corner. I believe it's
Delicious.
a Bolivian place, correct? And so we were trying their yuca, stuffed yuca with cheese.
Yeah. And then this is an avocado
Sandwich.
sandwich, which is just literally what it sounds like. I'm going to take a bite into it while you talk about whatever.
Delicious.
And we had some empanadas too, but we ate those already.
Yeah.
What did you have, Abraham?
What do you mean what I have? I had a steak sandwich.
And it was good, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because it's gone.
Yeah, I was hungry. I ate lunch at.
So definitely, I would rate this. My meal was a good 9 out of 10.
Yeah. How about you, Julissa?
I just took a huge bite of cilantro and I don't like that at all.
Bruh.
You can have this for later.
No, save it for Randy.
I don't like cilantro, but what I did have was, I would say, the yuca was a 9 out of 10. The empanadas were like an 8 out of 10.
Fair. Anyway, what are we talking about today? Something interesting.
Yeah, we're talking about dun, 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 cancel culture. And
What a wind up.
honestly, well, I just want to kind of get your perspective on what do you think about cancel culture? Is it entertaining for you? Because I know you're like an internet troll, Abraham. So you probably love it.
Yeah.
You thrive off
No.
of people's
I think it's
cancellations.
kind of, it depends on it, I guess, who it is. Because sometimes it can be entertaining. And someone's like, bro, like, you're dumb.
Yeah.
That's just my feelings.
Okay.
We should have put Target on our list since they've been canceled.
Oh, Target.
Really? What
Yeah.
is Target?
They were
They were canceled by a lot of,
Christians.
Christians.
You know what? This is the second. You're talking about the most recent cancellation, right? About the clothing that they were putting
and about
in.
the books.
Oh.
About the books too.
Yeah. So apparently, Target they hired an artist to design a
I think it was
clothing
from
line.
the Satanic Temple, actually.
Yeah, an artist to design a clothing line for the LGBTQ community to just be more inclusive, and people that were really trying to dig into it, and they were reaching. They were like, "Oh, did you guys know that the artist was satanic?" And they just brought out all these things to kind of take away from like the true meaning of what they were trying to do, which is be inclusive.
Yeah.
And it turned into this whole thing. Christians were raging.
It's always a Christian.
But you know what?
Sorry.
I was going to say,
Here comes the Christian.
I get the inclusivity, but I didn't get
Wait,
the target
hold
to
on.
the kids when it became like sexualized
Was it
in the books.
was it the LGBTQ
Yeah.
like clothing, right?
Yeah, it was like baby clothing that said like "Be proud lesbian" or
Yeah.
"Be proud this," or like asexual or whatever it was, right? Okay, I get that. I get that. I get the inclusivity, but I just didn't get like when you would read through the books at Target, some of the kid books in the kids section, there would be things like it would be grooming a child because of the words that they would use, like pussycat, and then it would be like targeted about something like in those areas.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Weird.
so it was the books were sexualized, not the clothing, but the books were. So that's what threw me. At first I was like, well, I mean, I get that people are upset, but when I started seeing videos about books, that's when I was like, oh, I would be upset too if I had a kid.
I didn't hear about the books.
Yeah, neither did I.
But you know what? It reminds me of kind of what they do. They're so, I mean, moving on to a different topic, but the same thing. There's also been some controversy over books that are allowed in school, over like in elementary school and in middle school, and also the kinds of material that they teach the kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents have been arguing like, it is not the school's responsibility to teach my kids about body parts. So I don't want the school to, touch on that. Like it's something that you should teach at home. What do you guys think about that?
I agree.
I get it. I agree, but then it also relies back to the fact that it's not being taught at home sometimes.
That is also true.
So I am someone that I rather teach my kid than let them be taught by the school. So I am for that completely, because I feel like some of the things that I've been taught in school are things that go against my values or things that go against my beliefs. And I know that those same things will be in the future taught in elementary schools or in middle schools or in high schools. And those are things I'm not comfortable with my kids knowing. So I think as long as it's actually being done at home,
Right.
then it's a fair argument.
That's what I was going to say, because the reason that you know that it's against your values is because they taught you at home values. But if you don't get that at home, then I guess the school is not grooming, but the school is giving you your values.
Right.
And I guess it's okay in some areas, but I also agree. I don't think that I would want my kids to learn about sexuality and body parts at school until maybe, I think middle school's fine.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that just because developmentally the kids are experiencing things that nobody really talks about.
Right.
One of the things that actually comes up a lot is when boys start going through puberty. And this isn't me to talk about because I'm not a man, but
But we have Abraham, so please.
right. So
chime
they
in.
start to, I don't know if this is the right term, but they start to ejaculate in their sleep without knowing. And so the boys are waking up and they're almost ashamed of it because they don't know what's going on. And nobody really tells them about it. And so then they start going through puberty and they start exploring their sexuality in terms of what their interests are and stuff. And then they're shamed upon it because they do that, but they never were taught that those biological changes of their body. And so kids don't know what to expect. And sometimes parents don't take the time and the effort to do and explain that.
Yeah, I agree. You good?
I'm just trying to think. I was waiting for you to say something else, Abraham, because you're the only one that can make a comment about that.
Well, I mean, she's right. Coming like I grew up with just my mom, so she wasn't talking about boy stuff.
She also wouldn't know, I don't think. How would she know unless someone told her?
That's true.
How would she know that, Abraham at this age is going to go through this, and this. I should guide him through it. They don't even tell us about our periods. What makes our moms, I'm not saying our moms didn't, but many moms don't even talk to their young girls through their period. What makes you think that a mom's going to talk a young boy through his morning
Morning wood.
erection? I was going to say morning wood, but that's so vulgar.
Wow.
Well, if coming from me.
Part of nature.
I know it's true. But
Yeah.
It's crazy.
What were we talking about?
Dude, it can get so deep. Wait, I'm sorry. I just got me started. It can get so deep though, because I think that's where gender dysmorphia comes in.
Go on.
I don't know if I want to talk about this.
She's like, let me see if I want to say this.
Gender dysmorphia is a thing, but I feel like it has a lot to do also with how you're taught at home. If as a woman, your breasts start to grow and you start to see these changes, and because you weren't prepared or someone told you about these biological changes that would be happening, then sometimes girls can go into hating it and not wanting it. And sometimes society can make them think, well, it's because you're not in the right body. And that's just like a personal thought though, but I'm not going to go too deep into that.
No, that makes total sense. I don't think I've ever thought about it that way, but I'm sure it's true. I don't think that only because the world makes it. What were you?
The way she just did it. Sorry.
Only because the world tells a young woman what the beauty standard is and like how you should have large breasts, large thighs, or X, Y, and Z, doesn't mean that all women are going to be okay with that. So I can imagine if you're a young girl and you start growing in ways that you don't appreciate, and you don't have anyone telling you this is your body, this is what God has given you, learn to love it. If you don't love it that much, there are things you can do in the future that can change it, which might be anti some of your beliefs, but I just feel like it's fine. If you want to get something done, that's a different topic for a different day. But if they don't have someone telling them that, then they're going to feel so foreign to something that's literally growing on them.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. I remember I have a little story. Do you guys want to hear?
Yeah.
It has to do with Vicky and Eric.
Okay.
They traumatized me. Let me tell you. Dude, when I was in 5th grade, okay? How old were we in 5th grade?
Maybe like
11.
8.
11?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Were they already?
Yes, you're right. Like 10, 11.
Okay. So I already knew you by then. So my timelines, not you. We already were friends with
But yeah, I hope you knew me.
we were already friends with Eric and Abraham by the time, right?
Oh, yeah. No, we were friends this decade. We were like 8, 9. Well, me, 9. You were younger.
Okay. I was older.
When you met them, I'm sorry. Oh, you met them.
Bro, we're digressing horribly. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. When we had first started the band, we were playing together a lot. And obviously, sorry. And we were practicing together a lot is what I was trying to say. And I remember one time I was laying on one of the pews at church upstairs. And I was just laying on my stomach, just being a normal, like, 5th grader, I think it was. I could have been no older than 11. There's no way. And I remember Vicky and Eric, they came up to me and they're like, Julissa, you have a big butt. And I was like, what? Like, I had never been so like, I have never been made so aware of my body until that moment. And first of all, they're younger than me, okay? Let me just say that. And at the time, Eric's tia Yvonne, she was like older than us. She was probably like 19 or something. And obviously she had a developed body. And they're like, yeah, you kind of like, you look like you're Yvonne's age. And bro, you guys made me so uncomfortable. I promise you that for like 3 years after that, all of the shirts that I wore them all the way covering my butt for like 3 years because I was so self-conscious. I was always like, and from then on, I never looked at myself the same because I was told that by 2 children.
That's so funny, dude.
So yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I remember. It was really funny.
You were probably going through puberty at that time.
I was. I think it was pretty early on in life, like too early for my own good. But yeah, it didn't go unnoticed. These 2,
You fun.
you can imagine them, huh?
Yeah.
Of all people, them too.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember that, but I'm sure we did that.
Right. Now that we discussed one of the huge brands or stores that got canceled, I want
I get
to.
canceled.
Well,
I feel like cancel culture doesn't even work.
it doesn't because it's
These
like
are failures.
it's for a little bit.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what kind of what you were trying to say. Like it doesn't actually happen.
Like I get the intent, and I feel like some people do deserve to get canceled, but I think they go about it the wrong way.
Who's they?
I don't know. Gen Z, who else?
Oh, the internet?
I was going to add to what you're saying, but I don't know if maybe this aligns to what you're saying, but the way that I see it nowadays, not saying maybe earlier or in past years, but nowadays I feel like when something big, like canceling a celebrity or a company or something happens, people jump on it so quickly to become famous from it.
Oh yeah, like they just start making TikToks and talking about it?
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like, I feel like that's why it becomes a big deal. Because,
for the clout.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just like, I listen, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I mean, are you just trying to do this because you want to be famous?
That's true.
But you said something interesting because you said that this is a Gen Z thing.
It is. It started late 2010s, no?
Yeah, because
into the early 2020s.
Because everyone, why do you think cancel culture started?
Because Gen Z soft.
No.
They get offended for everything.
No, literally.
Tell me it's not true.
Yes, I do agree. I agree. Well, okay. I think that there are some things that Gen Z, which you're a part of Gen Z.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is.
You know, you've told me that.
Yes.
Well, she's a Zoomer.
Because of my year, but I don't feel like a Gen Z at all.
But she's closer to our generation.
Yes, but...
And she grew up with us, so she has our mentality.
Yeah, no, I agree. But technically, by year, she's Gen Z.
Yeah.
I guess I'm on that border of like the difference.
Yeah, you are. Too. You are. And I guess what I'm saying is that...
Wait, really? What year were you born?
97.
That's when Gen Z started?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Go ahead.
All right. Anyway, he's going to look that up. But you made me forget what I was saying.
No.
Oh, with Gen Z. One of the things that this generation...
Yeah, 1997 to 2012. That's crazy.
You're annoying. How are we talking about this and you didn't... How are you going to be like, Gen Z is soft?
What are you then?
I'm you, whatever you are.
A millennial?
Millennials.
Oh, snap. Am I a
What's that
millennial?
noise? Sound like a fan.
It's the AC because...
No, it was like over here. Oh, it's my computer. Never mind.
Bro, I don't know. There was one timeline that I saw that said that the Gen Z cutoff was 96, but everything else after that has said that I'm a millennial.
Oh. But anyway, what are you going to say about Gen Z?
5 hours later, oh my God, that one thing that we have to give to them is that they have no filter and that they will stand up for what they believe. And we're not going to get into this topic, but I want to just say that there's one very important thing that Gen Z started, and it's the awakening or the popularity that they've brought to global warming. Because they actually care about our planet when none of our generations ever did that. So I think in that sense, Gen Z's big mouth and softness has helped.
Yeah.
I think they, I don't know, obviously we bash on Gen Z, but like they have a lot of like good things that they try to do.
Yeah.
But I don't think they know how to go about it the right way. So we get things like these like cancel cultures that aren't working, but they have like good intentions.
Yes, I do agree.
And I do think for themselves, I think we're hard on them, but like I think they're like the first generation that aren't promised like a future. Like you said, like they like go to school like, oh, our planet's dying.
Yep.
They go to school and they're like, oh, like there's not enough houses.
Yes.
Like you can go to college, you might not have a job.
Literally, they go to school
so
and
like imagine being that generation's like, well, what the heck am I doing here then? Like, I don't have a future. Like, my future isn't promised.
It's crazy because I listen to things like that and I feel like I also feel like it affects me. Although I'm technically a millennial, when I hear all of those negative things about all of the lack of jobs, how AI is able to do the job of 20 lawyers in like 10th of the time. It's just, I'm just like, bro, what am I living for? Like, what do I do now?
Scary.
And for me, obviously, and you guys, we have a different perspective sometimes. So we're like, okay, we'll figure it out. But you're right. I didn't even think about it that way. Gen Z definitely like,
And that's why like a lot of them are like depressed or
yes.
like, what the heck am I doing here then? Like they joke around like, I didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
Like, but literally, like, I don't know. I kind of it feels bad for them. You know, we like bash them a lot for obviously jokingly we bash them, but
Yeah.
that's their reality.
It is a reality. Imagine the reality we're putting our kids through. That's why I
And
don't.
not to like speak, even to like speak of what they go through school. Like, I can never sit there and like, oh, today might be my last day here.
Dude,
That's like
the
freaking
shootings.
scary. Yep.
Well, can I even say that? I'm not trying to get banned.
Well, just bleep it.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
But anyway,
Cancel culture that Gen Z
yeah.
started, or maybe did they even start it? If it started in 2010?
Like late 2010.
Okay. Well,
It's like right before COVID.
let's
That's
talk
what I
about.
remember.
Okay. That was not before COVID.
Like 2019 is right before COVID.
Oh, I thought you said 2010.
No, I said late 2010s.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about where Gen Z and the rest of us bandwagoners, because let's be honest, a lot of the millennials and even people older than us have jumped on the bandwagon of hate on social media whenever someone's getting canceled. You see those 40-year-old bitter women like, yeah, that girl needs to be canceled. No, they say some nasty things. So let's talk about that.
I was going to say something super racist.
Don't. Please don't. But we're about to get canceled and nobody even knows us.
Can I say? No.
No.
Say. I was going to bleep it out. But
No, you.
No, that's
He
right.
says, I'm going to bleep it out. I'm going to bleep it
Cut
out.
that whole thing out. I'm not a racist, guys. Anyway.
Kanye West.
So yeah, I started to look into him, but what did he do?
It's not that he did anything. It's just the controversy behind the kind of music that he's created. And I mean, for the entire beginning of his career. And then out of nowhere, he tries to transition into a Christian artist. So from secular to Christian, because I mean, there's like there's a divide, right?
Yeah, but that's not why he was on the verge of cancellation.
Well, the Taylor Swift thing is one of the reasons.
No.
Okay, Abraham.
For me,
Enlighten me.
it was because obviously he's a African American, but he's a huge Trump supporter.
That's why you think he was getting canceled?
And he was wearing shirts like White Lives Matter. And like he was
I
meeting up with
remember
Donald
that.
Trump. He was wearing MAGA.
Oh,
And I feel like
And I think he spoke a lot against the Black Lives movement.
he did.
He spoke against it.
Man,
so that's why I think he was getting canceled.
maybe he's just getting canceled left. Well, he was getting canceled left and right, because you're right. I remember that, but I was thinking about something else.
I mean, I see what you're saying with the Christian music, but I don't know. I didn't read about that. So
I
you
actually
enlighten
think that
us.
he gained popularity from that.
From what?
From
Christian music?
from doing
he had his,
both
like-
secular and Christian music.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if he got canceled for
He had
that.
like his own church for a while, no?
It wasn't a church. It was a Sunday service. It was like a choir that he would.
So they didn't like preach.
I don't think that they. Well, actually, I can't speak on it. I'm not
I
sure.
remember like they would like sing, no?
They would sing.
Like they would go to random places and just sing.
Yeah. Outs.
That's cool.
It was really cool. I would have wanted to go to one. I don't judge him for it. He definitely went
takes
through
me-
a lot.
Although I'll say like I'm not a big fan. Like I'm not a big Kanye fan. Like his music, I feel like it all sounds the same to me.
That's blasphemous.
Really?
It's good music.
All the songs I've heard are like, oh, that sounds like the last one I just heard. But maybe I'm just dumb.
Well, I'm not gonna argue against that.
Hey, I'll mute you right now.
For you, Ben.
But anyway,
Yeah. So
Well, do you both think it was fair for him to get canceled the way that people were approaching it?
well, if we're talking about like for his political like stance or whatever, I feel like that's dumb. Like let people vote for who they want to vote for and support who they want to support.
I think people's anger against it, though, is the fact that he's so influential, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're advocating for, you know, like the Republican point of view," and there's a lot of people watching you, and I don't know, people just like get mad that someone with influence is using their influence against what they believe.
Yeah.
Is the main reason. But if he were in support of Hillary Clinton, which he very much was not, or Biden,
So then we go-
everyone else would have been
sorry.
pissed.
And we go against like Gen Z is mostly Democratic.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
They're liberal.
I
So
think
they're mad.
Kanye West is like the Candace Owens version in a male body.
Oh my gosh. No,
Candace
because
Owens.
you don't know who Candace Owens is?
No.
Don't look her up.
Enlighten me. Is she important to my life?
There's another one too. Oh my god.
It sounds
She's just
familiar.
interesting to listen to, but I do think she's very extreme.
Like, what does she do?
She's
Oh,
like
she's a Republican for sure.
but she's a what
Black
does she do?
woman.
She has like a news.
She has like a podcast.
Okay.
She has a podcast and she talks about a lot of like cancel culture. She talks about like the things with Ariana Grande. She talks about the things with Donald Trump.
She talks about Skims and how she. Well,
Yeah,
the
she
one
talks
of
about it a lot.
the one of the things that she said one time was that she's sick and tired of all the inclusivity. Like, just stop trying to be inclusive. We're all the same anyway. Like, it should already like as if it's something that's
true.
already embedded. No, because she was speaking primarily on Skims. And she was upset that Kim Kardashian was kind of jumping on the bandwagon of being inclusive by bringing inclusive shapewear, when in reality, a lot of disabled people benefit so much from her line. And so when she said that, people were like, you are very privileged, and it shows because you're speaking on something that you obviously didn't educate yourself in. If you knew how helpful it was that Kim Kardashian created, you know, this shapewear that I could actually get in when I'm in a wheelchair, you would stop talking. So it was something that that specific topic was very controversial that she spoke about. People were pissed. And I get
Not
it.
interesting to me.
Oh my God. Okay, moving on. So let's move on
So
to
I think we should vote. Do we think Kanye should be canceled?
No.
Yay or nay?
Nay.
Nay.
nay. I just had to think about it because he made me think of Donald Trump.
Why?
Because one of the things that they have in common is how vocal they are. And I just feel like when Donald Trump was president, there was so much chaos because of what he said all the time. And I just got sick and tired of living in a world of chaos when he was president.
That's true.
It was just so
He gave
chaotic.
like power to the people,
So
the
annoying.
wrong people.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, seriously. And I just didn't, I don't know.
They came out of the woodworks.
Yeah, because they were.
And they felt like they had a voice, which I mean, everyone does, but maybe you should tone it down
I don't know.
when you have these like crazy thoughts.
Donald Trump definitely did something with the Republican people that no other Republican president had done.
That's true.
In terms of like give them power to say things that shouldn't have been said or done.
Yes. And then
Like you can
pissed
be
off Gen Z.
you can have a Republican president here in the US, but it doesn't have to get to chaos.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And it was a mess, dude. I remember when what was the Black Lives Matter movement?
I have a question for you guys. Like, do you guys think like, because like Donald Trump is like the first president like where like I was aware of like all the things that was happening, but you think like people like have these thoughts before?
What do you mean?
Like because like now like Republicans and Democrats like hate each other, you know? Has it always been like that?
Yes, it's always been polarized. It has always been polarized. So I think that the only reason that we were so awakened by it is because it was like one of the first years that we voted. And or the people around you voted. And then we saw somebody like Donald Trump, who is not a politician, become president. It just became something like so insane that somebody that rich and famous who has nothing to do with
Yeah.
politics
Okay.
and like brought the world of celebrities into politics. So Donald Trump became president, and it felt almost as if every single person who was friends with him in the world of the rich became president with him. He like brought everybody with him. So that's why.
Like, I'm not a bit like political person. I don't really get into that stuff. So I was kind of curious.
I haven't recently.
I feel like
I'm tired of
I
it.
feel like I remember when Obama was first elected.
Me too.
I remember like the whole school, like all the teachers were like super happy.
Yeah, we were in
I
sixth
was like,
grade.
So I think like that swayed like because I would like people would ask like, oh, are you for the Democrats or like I didn't really know, but like all my teachers vote Democrat, so I guess I'm a Democrat.
Yeah. It's
That's interesting.
It is interesting, but also because we come from Latino parents who probably don't even know the difference between Democrat or Republican. My parents did, but I know a lot don't. So obviously,
Yeah, I feel like if I asked my mom, she'd be like, no idea.
she'd be like, or should I say it? Never mind. I'm not going to say it.
Say it.
No. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, yes. So
we started at the
Next
top,
celebrity.
at the top of the list, like a celebrity. And let's talk about another celebrity, which is Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber.
Cancel Hailey Bieber. Selena Gomez all the way. Just saying.
Honestly,
oh, is that why they were getting canceled?
yeah. Well, taking Justin Bieber out of the equation, it's just
Hailey Bieber.
Hailey Bieber who is getting canceled because of some nasty
She was acting
mean
like a
girl.
child.
She was acting like a mean girl on the
I remember
internet.
this, yeah.
But I mean, people read into like people reach, bro. They reach so much
That is true.
because like this was like a long. Well, first of all, it's been a years of a feud. But within the last year, right, when there was something about a photo that was posted, whatever, like the Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber posted a photo making fun of Selena, but like it's like subtweeting.
dissing.
Yeah, sneak dissing. And people were reaching, they were saying that they posted it, you know, to make fun of her or whatever. I don't remember the post, but I feel like if you're a celebrity, you're already super careful with what you post. So I don't think that they did it on purpose. That's just my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. I just don't think so. I think it must have been an accident and people were able to find a way to say Hailey Bieber hates Selena Gomez and XYZ. But bro,
I don't know, dude.
she married the man. Like, you really think Selena cares? Let it go.
Yeah. I just remember that's what I heard. That she was like being mean. And obviously Selena has her army.
Yeah.
And they're trying to cancel Hailey, and they were being which is funny because like she was being mean, but like then they started being mean to Hailey. So it's like an eye for an eye makes the world blind.
Yeah, they were all going crazy, and it was just
And like
a
they
whole
were
bunch of
bullying
women.
her, and then Selena had to literally like, hey guys, like we're cool, like don't be mean to her, don't bully her.
She never said her name, but she made a comment about her not being for women against women.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't for that. And then they posted a photo together at like this huge event.
I saw that.
Did you see that? And they looked so pretty. But then it got rumors and bullying continued afterwards. Like people were kept reaching and making stuff up.
Yeah, that's my problem. Like with cancel culture. Like she literally said stop, like, all right, stop. Like why do you keep reaching?
Because everyone has an opinion.
No, I just think it kept going because Hailey never really said anything.
She kind of ignored it.
No, she went on a podcast.
On a podcast? I didn't know that.
Hailey went on a podcast called Call Me Daddy.
Huh.
Yeah, and
Hey, yo.
and they
know that.
asked hey you. And they asked her questions about if Justin had ever made a public comment or if she would have wanted Justin, because Justin's never made a public comment telling people to leave his wife alone. He's never done anything like that. If anything, it's been quite the opposite. He's almost been canceled for being mean to her, and he's been caught slamming the door in her face and getting out of a car or walking really fast in front of her and like not waiting for her. But I mean, bro, it's just a relationship. Like we all have our moments.
I remember that whole time, like people were like, oh, he's still in love with Selena and stuff like that. Was that another thing?
I think that was unfair, though. Like I think that was wrong for the people to be doing.
That's messed
It's
up.
like you're speculating these things about someone else's marriage. That's gonna hurt a marriage.
It's gonna hurt a marriage, especially when they're so young. They're nearly our age.
But do you guys think that like they're desensitized to like what the public has to say about them?
I'm
Or
sure
do you think it still affects
to an
them?
extent.
I don't know. I feel like it. Maybe
Like it
because
still
I think
stings a little
because if I were in their situation, I don't think I would ever get past it. Like it would just be something that I would continuously have a difficulty dealing with because they're human.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but like I feel like
They're also superior,
Justin's
though.
been doing this for like since he was a little like a teenager, no?
Yes, but he's had his freakouts. So clearly he's affected by it.
I mean, at some point, like you do, like you reach a breaking point, but
which I'm sure is one of the reasons that was me kicking. Sorry, which I'm sure is one of the reasons to go back to what I was saying is that he hasn't made a comment trying to defend his wife, because even if he does it, people that were in support of his childhood relationship are never going to accept anything that he says anyway. Yeah. It's like asking a woman to marry you is the biggest sign of your love for her, and that wasn't good enough for his fans and for Selena's fans. So him making a little statement is not going to make people stop reaching.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's where it gets controversial with Justin Bieber, though.
Why?
Because of I don't know if you guys saw the video or one of his music videos about talking about his girlfriends. And then the last one was his passport. And it's the last one he's been with, which is Hailey. And so a lot of people were grabbing that video also because he was saying, like, I think Selena, Ariana, and then my passport. And so people were using that as in, like, he only married Hailey for his papers because he was Canadian.
I was like, where's she going with that?
I've heard that.
Hilarious. So that's why I feel like, I think that's when it becomes controversial because Justin puts himself in situations like that too.
Also,
when he said that
in a music video, it's
passport?
a song. Yeah. I think he said passport.
I think at that point he's just like trolling.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
You just gotta feed into it. Like they're not gonna stop.
Right.
So just feed into it.
Just ride the train if it's gonna make you money.
It gives you views, listens, whatever.
Publicity.
Like, oh my god, did you hear what? Like right now, I'm gonna go listen to the song.
Literally,
they're marketing geniuses.
For real. That's one thing. That's why I say, like, I was about to say kind of the opposite of what Vicky said, that when you asked if they get desensitized, I think that to a point they do, because any little thing that we as people want to exacerbate that they're doing in their lives, they're going to mark it off of it. But I think that when he was younger and he was going through a lot and had to reach back into some spiritual people in his life to get some spiritual mentorship, he was going through a lot because, yes, he became very famous, but he was still normal for a good while when he was younger. So when he became super rich and super famous, imagine just like 40,000 people hearing you sing at age 16, 17, and women, I mean, young girls, adults, people like Ellen DeGeneres just like absolutely dehumanizing you, calling you sexy at age 16, and everybody loves you. And then you grow up and what other high can you chase?
That's true.
Like the entire world loved, and I'm sure still does, loves Justin Bieber. So he went through a lot. And I watched a video earlier today where Justin is he's like in his older age as he is now. And he was at church and the paparazzi followed him and they were waiting for him, obviously, because he's famous outside of church. And he was telling them, like, why here? This is where I come to relax, to calm down. And why are you guys following me here? Any other place you can follow me, why here? So I guess to a certain extent, it really does affect him. And although he will do things like the passport thing to market off of it, at other times he gets really sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see, like, imagine being followed every time you go out, just like someone following you with camera in your face. Like, I'd get sick of it too.
Oh yeah, it's because you're a quiet guy.
Okay, but I'm just saying, like, putting myself in his shoes.
Yes, I know.
But anyway, back to Hailey. Cancel her or no?
No, don't cancel Hailey. Leave the girl alone.
I say nay.
No.
I feel like if she learned her lesson, like,
I just don't like mean girls. I just don't.
But did she even, like, did she ever say anything? Like, wasn't it all Kylie Jenner?
No, it was like them together. They made a post about eyebrows after Selena had made a post about eyebrows. Dude, it's not that deep.
Dude, I thought it was because they were body shaming Selena for gaining weight.
Oh, they did do that, no?
Did they?
Yeah.
I think at some point
that's
they
how
did.
it started. And then the second thing was the eyebrows.
Oh, snap. I guess I don't know enough.
So body shaming, is it cancel worthy?
Yes.
Cancel Hailey Bieber.
Okay. Wait. Did she
Here comes
actually?
Vicky with her pitchfork.
Do you really think that Hailey can afford to be a bully though? I just think people are reaching. Like I said, I don't know the details.
I don't know too much
I don't
details
know.
either.
But no, I think in all honesty, yeah, no canceling Hailey. It's just, it's hard to understand what's the truth and what's not the truth.
Yeah.
And people are never going to let go of the fact that they prefer Selena over Hailey. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't prefer Selena with Justin. I don't get why people do that. I prefer Selena as a person,
Yes.
not because she was
What if
Justin's like ex
what if
partner.
Right.
what if it was flipped? What if Selena was being a mean girl?
Then I would be on Hailey's side.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I
it's just
just,
because she was being a mean girl.
yeah. In that sense, I agree that she's being. I still don't think she should get canceled, but I don't think
I
it's
don't
nice.
think
Yeah, no canceling.
Okay. Now we're going to get down to some influencers. I don't think we can call these people celebrities. Can we?
Who?
Miranda Sings.
No.
She's a celebrity.
No, she's an influencer.
How many followers does she have?
I'm going to get some candy.
Not enough.
What do you mean?
Ooh, that was loud.
I feel like she's a celebrity. I feel like all influencers are celebrities to someone.
No, because I feel like if
Like if you ask,
Colleen, like Miranda Sings is walking down, not a lot of people will recognize her. Versus
But
if
if
Kim
you get
Kardashian's walking down the street, everyone's going to recognize her.
But wouldn't you say Kim Kardashian is also an influencer? Influence?
No, I think she's
No.
a celebrity.
She has her own show on national
But she
television.
influences people.
Yes, because
She
all celebrities,
influences the masses.
all celebrities are influencers. Not all influencers are celebrities.
Whatever.
You asked.
Okay. Anyway, so, I don't really do too much research about what Miranda
So
Sings
Miranda
did, other than her apology.
Miranda Sings is the fictional character that is played by.
Didn't we used to say Colleen used to look like her?
Who's we? Who's we?
When she's
I
laughing.
agree.
We used to. Because Miranda Sings would wear red lipstick and Karina would too.
Yeah, but like she would wear it all ugly. Y'all saying that Karina doesn't have any application skills?
You
No,
said
no,
that.
no.
Ooh.
It's just she looked like her.
Yeah, they did look.
I'm just reaching, and I just gleeked.
Cancel Julissa.
Why? I didn't say anything. Cancel them.
What?
They brought it up.
Anyway,
So, Colleen
Ballinger.
Ballinger.
I don't know.
I don't know how you say her name. Colleen B is the woman who, like the actual person, right? Who plays Miranda Sings. And it all started because in her shows, actually, I don't know where it started, but in her shows for the last however many years that she's had shows, she calls people, she has these skits where she calls her audience up on stage, and most of her audience are not children, but young kids. It can be children. And she does these skits where she will have them reach into her pants and like find a prize. And it's like, it's a funny. Or she will have this skit where it's like a yoga exercise. And there was one specific skit that she had years ago where she grabbed one of the people in the crowd and did a yoga position on her by laying her flat on her back. And Colleen was standing, Miranda was standing above her, and she opened her legs as far wide as she could. And the girl was wearing a skirt. She was wearing Spanx, but a lot of people, I don't know how it just resurfaced.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it resurfaced to the internet, and people were saying, "Oh, Colleen has been grooming kids, and she's been making money off of grooming kids this entire time that she's been famous." And then the actual girl who was in the video that had resurfaced made a TikTok, and she's like, "A lot of people are making comments about that video, but no one has heard it from my mouth and my experience." And I was listening, and I'm like, maybe she's going to say you guys are reaching. No, she said how she was very young. She dressed a little bit provocative because when you dress provocative to a Miranda Sings show, your likeliness of being called up is bigger. For a specific skit about corn with a P that Colleen has. And she didn't called up for that skit. She got called up for the yoga skit. And that's when she had her legs pulled open or whatever. And apparently she said that she felt super uncomfortable. She felt violated, that she wasn't comfortable with her body at that age yet. And so for Miranda to have done that, the girl was like letting her do it because it's somebody with power, and no adults were kind of like jumping in. I'm sure not even her own parents. but that she was like, oh my gosh, are people like, am I more exposed than I am? Like she was super insecure about it. And then after she left the show, a lot of people were watching her very like nasty. They were just like grinning at her because they had seen her. Like people were watching her in ways that they didn't look at her when she had first come in because nobody knew who she was. But now she was that girl who was on the stage with her legs open. And she obviously lost her love for Miranda because she felt super exposed and she came out and spoke on it. And the internet went wild. So I want to hear your thoughts.
That's the first time that I hear that because when I heard about the situation with Miranda, I heard about her having like a group chat.
Yes. Group chats with her fans.
With her fans. And one of the, I think, boys that was in that group chat at a very young age came out talking about how she would groom, Miranda Sings would groom them through the chats or sometimes even video calls that she would make and sexualizing like their play. And a lot of these things, a lot of the people in the group chats were people that were like 10, 11, and then just Miranda Sings was like the oldest one that was responding to them. So this is the first time that I hear about that one.
What do you hear?
I heard, that she was like talking inappropriately to like young fans.
Yeah, and I think it was her way of gaining fans. She was connecting with them, and the kids are probably like, "Oh my God, Mom, I'm in a group chat with Miranda. I'm in a group chat with Miranda. Can we go see her show?" And I mean, I guess she is borderline celebrity because the amount of popularity. She had a Netflix show actually.
Dang, really?
Yeah, she had a Netflix show, and I actually watched it because, not anymore. I was a fan.
Like recently? Or a while
No, I want to say like 4 years ago.
ago? Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I watched it. Yeah.
I did not know she had a Netflix show.
I never found her entertaining. I think she was kind of cringe.
She is cringe. That's what's entertaining.
Well, I guess not for me.
And you know what? I've obviously never been to her shows live. And I've never, I don't know, I guess as a younger person, I never watched her videos and was like, that's a little inappropriate. Until now that I go back and I see some of her interactions with people. And there was an interaction with JoJo Siwa as well. Did you guys hear that?
No.
So JoJo Siwa and obviously super famous. Miranda Sings super famous. So they did a collab and they made videos. And Miranda in character was basically telling JoJo like, have you ever looked inside your pants? And then JoJo was like, yeah, I'm private. And she's like, do you know what's in there? And JoJo, to like a child, kind of like making them aware of their body. And JoJo was underage. And that resurfaced on the internet. People were going wild about that too, because she just has these inappropriate conversations back to the topic of should schools talk about our sexuality or XYZ with our kids. And Miranda was doing that with either celebrities, people in her group chats, at her shows. And
I just think that's where the line is drawn. And nobody should be talking to you about it unless like you have consent from your parents for this person to be doing so.
But a lot of the people at the shows took their kids. Like these parents consented.
Did they know that?
Did they play the same skits though that probably were more open to talking about?
I think Miranda, I don't know, right? I don't know the answer to that question. But if she is a sick person, because there's more stories, I'll tell you guys one more later. If she is a sick person who's grooming kids, I could imagine that the shows are a lot more out there than her YouTube videos. Because at that point, the parents are already there with the kids. The adrenaline's running. They're going to try to they already paid for it. They're going to try to enjoy it. So she can get away with more in person than she can on the internet. So I feel like that's maybe the parents, like they were like, oh, this is a person who's safe for my kids to watch. She's not saying anything too inappropriate. And then they show up to a show and she does these questionable things. But for what? Like, it just makes no sense.
I also want to say that I feel like when it comes to people like Miranda Sings in that career area, I think that a lot of the times the managers also have an influence on how you should maybe write your skits or how you should present yourself.
I'm sure they do though.
So that's why it's easy just to say, yeah, Miranda Sings is a sick person, but I do believe that there's like a group of or a team of people behind this that's just like, hey, you should probably do this. It'll catch more attention, or you should do that, or you should say this. Because nobody that becomes a celebrity or an influencer who reaches a ton of people the way Miranda Sings has an idea of how to run like a business in that way.
Yeah.
And they need to be marketed and they need professional advice. And I do think that the team has a lot to do with it too.
And Hollywood is nasty. We already know that. What's that guy's name? Dan Schneider?
Oh, that guy's creepy.
Right, that's what I'm
He's
saying.
into feet, which is all right.
Oh my God, that scared me. Topaz is at the door.
Dude, that was creepy, bro. Okay, so Vicky was saying that maybe her management is pushing her to be weird,
Yeah, but
basically.
that's the thing. They probably are pushing her to be weird.
I don't know. We were talking about the Dan Schneider guy.
Right. Like just people in Hollywood who are weird because
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Who else?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, that's a different thing. No,
No, not Jeffrey
we're talking about
Dahmer.
Hollywood. No, I know who that is, but I thought we were talking about Hollywood weirdos.
Well, Donald Trump is a Hollywood weirdo.
What was he on?
What?
What was he on?
I don't know
Like,
what he
what
was
show?
on, but
Talking about bosses, no?
anybody who's rich and famous can get away with harassment, whether it's sexual
That's true.
or not. And
Yeah.
I think that if we're talking about like, oh, should Colleen or the management team be to blame? I mean, both, because Colleen is obviously being influenced
doing
by
it.
her team, but she's doing it because she's gaining from it. And that's where you become a weirdo.
Yeah. I do think that people in Hollywood do have to sacrifice a lot of who they are, a lot of their beliefs just to make money. And they
true.
become, and not just sacrifice it, but mold their beliefs and values, and they just change who they are as people.
This is where I start believing that influencers and celebrities have like they differ, because I feel people like Miranda Sings. Well, yeah, Miranda Sings. I feel like her career is over. No one is going to let their children listen to her anymore, in my opinion. But when a celebrity does something and it's crazy, you give it a little bit of time and then they bounce back.
That's true.
Celebrities really do have a lot of they're easily forgiven. Maybe not easily, but they're forgiven. And then
Allegedly.
another one, Will Smith. Will Smith is, I mean, people are still mad at him for what he did to Chris Rock, but he's, gonna gain it back. And
Yeah.
influencers, like once you're over, you're over. So you're a little
I
bit
feel like a
lower
lot of
tier.
those moments though, are like
Yeah.
like Vicky said, is like it's to gain attention. Like now people are like, when that happened, everyone was talking about Will Smith and whatever award show that was.
I was mad at Will Smith. No, but it wasn't just for attention, because Will
don't think
Smith
so?
lost. No, because he lost was it the Oscars?
I don't know.
He
It was
lost
some
his
show.
privileges from going to
go-
the
okay.
award shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And I also think that Will Smith did that because he knows that he could get away with it, and he didn't. And honestly, I personally, it changed my perspective on him, because that I just
Really?
can't see him.
You guys
this
are
way.
against what he did,
Yes, you can't just go and assault somebody in public.
but you can't also talk smack.
But I feel
It's
like
a
that was a plan though. That was a skit.
It was a skit.
Oh yeah, but
I don't think that
did they
Chris
get
just
the
knew
okay
that.
from him?
Probably not, but I feel like at a lot of these award shows, especially if you're a comedian the way that Chris Rock is, you don't ask people for permission.
That's true, but like
And I think that who's
Yeah.
sitting front row. Like they're not going to just
exactly. So why would you make jokes? Like I don't know. I guess
Maybe
we
he just thought
stand on
that
different sides.
Will Smith wasn't going to react the way that he reacted.
I don't think anyone expected that.
Yeah.
See, that's why it should be from now on. It should be like, okay, we're gonna make
But
make fun of this.
this is
is that
the-
okay?
I don't
You know what I'm saying? You don't
No,
think
but
so?
this is the thing though. I think when that whole thing happened, people were more than bashing on Will Smith, they were bashing on his wife, because I think when the comment was made,
not him, yeah.
Will Smith had laughed, but it
Yeah.
was his wife that was
She
kind of like,
reacted. Well, and,
True,
now
I
that
forgot.
now that I remember, like his wife, like she had that.
she has that red talk table.
Yeah, and then she admitted that she was like seeing some other guy. No,
the cheating scandal.
Yeah. So okay. never mind.
Yeah. And she has with that red talk table, I think that she speaks out on a lot of different, like she's an advocate.
Yeah.
She advocates for people. She advocates for movements. So I think that she took it personally, like a personal attack maybe, where it's like, I speak so much about like women power, and then my husband is sitting here and allowing them to
Disrespect me.
in the way that it was being done. So I feel like that's why she influenced on the actual result a lot.
I agree. I just think that I don't know, dude. This is where making comments like you signed up for this, I think they play a role. Because I think that when you're a celebrity, you still are deserving of respect and of privacy. Not that you're going to get it because people are crazy. But if you're at a show like this and you're sitting front row, you have to have some intel on what's going to happen at this show. If you know Chris Rock is going to be opening, you know you're about to get dissed if you're sitting front row. Now, the fact that you can't handle that and you're a celebrity and you're going to sit front row, like that's where I'm just like, girl, come on. Like it's not that deep. And the thing is that they also knew Chris Rock. It's not like they'd never known each other.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying.
So it's like, what the heck?
I think it was more of like maybe a hit at her position in society in terms of like who she is, what she represents. Because I think one of the reasons why she was upset was because I think she has a condition of losing her hair. And so
that was the whole joke, no?
Yeah, that was the whole joke. And she was like, she didn't think it was funny to make a joke like that.
I just personally, I think it was the whole thing was very low in terms of like Will Smith doing that. Like, why did she have to influence her husband to do something like that to feel okay with like the joke?
Yeah, I agree.
That's where I'm just like, okay, no, that was wrong.
And also, I mean, I think it gets really touchy when people make jokes on conditions and illnesses.
Yeah.
So you just really, as a comedian, I feel like you never know how the crowd's going to take it.
Right.
But it's I mean, at your discretion if you're going to do it or not. This time, clearly, Chris Rock, like, again, management knew what he was going to say. Do you think he really pulled it out of his back pocket? Or maybe he did.
I don't think he did. I really don't think he did. Maybe for the audience, it was something that they weren't aware of, because I don't think the audience knows exactly what this schedule is going to look like, other than just like, this is what's going to happen. But I definitely do think that management had something to do with it. Like, they know like who's going to be sitting where. Like, I think they all have like assigned seats somewhere.
Absolutely, they have to. Well, do you guys think, let's do one by one. Do you guys think that, wait, did we say Miranda Sings should get canceled? Or Colleen Berry?
No.
I'm just going to say no. But that's like a personal bias though.
For me.
We know, because you think cancel culture is anti-biblical.
Wait, what?
Vicky thinks that cancel culture is anti-biblical. So I saw a post that said Jesus got canceled too. I didn't read it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but I was like, I wonder what Vicky would think about this, given that I know that
I think, like, I don't know what the post might have said, but if you want to say like, yeah, he did get canceled because he showed up preaching something that was against the Jewish law to Jews at that time, I can see why he would get canceled, but he wasn't the one that was representing a culture of cancellation. So that's why I still think it's like anti-biblical, because he spoke against it. Like he taught to live a life against like cancellation, you know, and it happened to him. But yet although he was canceled, that doesn't mean that he went around canceling other people.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. All right. I see what she's saying. And I just wanted to call that out because I know that we were going to discuss that. That.
Yeah, I feel like there was like a lot of like cancel culture in the Bible, but
it just wasn't called that.
It wasn't called that. And Jesus came and like lived a life that was opposite of that.
Makes sense. So, I mean, I guess based on that, I don't think she should get canceled, but I do think that Miranda Sings should go to sleep.
Yeah, like don't
Go
do
to sleep.
Don't do that career anymore.
So let's not call it cancel. Do you think she should not have her platform anymore?
Yes.
I think so too.
Wasn't that what canceling is?
No, I think. Well, the way maybe.
Because like
But I feel like
obviously
society-
we don't like what is canceling for you?
We should have started with that.
Yeah.
It's like shunning out a person in general. Like even if you see them in public, like you continue to be like, oh, they did this. Don't talk to them.
See, because I don't see it
And
that
so
way.
like they keep it on, even if this person doesn't have the platform anymore.
Yeah. See, like, because
Yeah.
the way I think, not like obviously not canceling, not like shunning them from society. Like, oh, we don't want to hear you from ever again. Like, go live in this island. Like, I feel like people should lose their platform. Like, should lose their platform, and like they should be, I don't know, go to like therapy or something and prove that you've changed. And then then like if you want to try again, then go ahead. But you have to prove to me that you've changed.
Who's me though?
What do you mean?
You have to prove to me that you changed. Who's me? Who would Colleen have to prove that to?
Whoever feels like canceling here.
It's hard because we're talking about children here.
Yeah, that's one of my
And
problems.
I do think that
like it's kids.
when kids are affected by it or traumatized by something or just impacted in general in a very negative way, I don't think someone should ever have the opportunity to be to have that platform around children again.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so either.
But she can still make a name for herself in different
I
platforms,
mean-
like maybe like comedy with
Yeah,
adults,
yeah.
which is completely different.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And the way that Hollywood is, like we've talked about, it's sure to come up again where they're just like, hey, do this or do that, or show up in this way or represent this group in this way.
Yeah.
And she'll be influenced to do it just because of the money.
Yeah. Moving on.
Moving on.
Take it away, Abraham. We have one more person to talk about and we have
Nick
no
Mercs.
idea.
Wait, I just want to say
Wait.
something though, before we
Go
move
ahead.
on. I know we're kind of focusing on the person who, like the perpetrator, the one that caused the harm. But I also want to consider the audience that if you think about like all comedians, for some reason, sexualized play or sexualized comedy is funny to people. And I feel like they don't understand the magnitude of how much it can impact a child or an individual because they're laughing about it. And you can see that with like a lot of different comedians. And I feel like one of her ways to attract like that laughter or even the adults, because I feel like she had a big range of
Fans.
fans, was through that sexualized play. And for adults, it's funny. It's funny. For kids, it's not funny. We don't. Sometimes I don't even get it. I look back sometimes to some like SpongeBob like episodes or like things, and I'm just like, I would have never caught that when I was young.
Right.
Now that I'm older, now I get it.
Yeah.
SpongeBob was technically not a show for children though.
Right. So it's like for adults, it's funny. It's funny, and they don't just because they're having pleasure of laughter in that moment, they don't see the harm that it can be causing. So I also think it relies on us as the audience. Like, what are we laughing at? What are we accepting that continues someone on a platform that way to continue doing it?
Yeah. I also feel that it's up. I mean, the responsibility is on the parents. And unfortunately, the internet is just such a thing right now that what parent do you know that actually controls their kids' internet? I don't know anyone
I
that
know
does.
one parent.
I think that's
It's a client.
Yeah, I was like, I'm like, if it's someone in our
What
family,
race
I'm
are
about
they?
to.
What race are they?
Puerto Rican, but their partner is Caucasian.
I feel like that's unfortunately it's like a white people thing.
Well, their partner is Caucasian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
because no
that's
one.
something we
monitors.
should change, you know?
I think so too. And even the people that we know in our family that say that they watch their kids stuff, no, they don't. Because I know what they be watching.
There are apps that help you control like what your child is watching, and like it blocks certain things.
Yeah.
Even your like internet provider, like there's a lot of filters that you can set.
Yeah.
So I mean, so there's no excuse
That's the only thing I wanted to say.
there's no excuse to not monitor.
There's no excuse to not monitor someone's phone. Yeah, I agree. Moving on to what's his name?
Nick Mercs.
All right.
8.
Don't know his actual name. But Nick Mercs, pay attention, Vicky.
Hold on.
Just kidding. So Nick Mercs. Nick Mercs is a YouTuber streamer who has like a big audience. He's part of FaceTime. You probably don't know what that is.
No idea.
One of the biggest like gaming organizations.
Oh, you know what? I don't know who that is.
You probably you know FaZe Rug.
Oh, I do know Facebook.
FaZe Rug. He's in it. So basically, what happened with Nick Mercs recently? He's obviously part of the internet, and I believe he commented on a Twitter post where LGBT protesters were fighting with LGBTQ supporters.
LGBT.
Whatever.
I was just like, wait, that sounds off.
So they were fighting. The post isn't clear like what they were fighting about, but it was like on a school board, so something to do with school.
Okay.
Oh,
And all Nick Merck said, like he tweeted, he said, "Leave the kids alone." That's all he said.
oh.
And
people went crazy.
people went after his head. But the biggest reason why he was like, they were trying to cancel him, obviously was because he had his opinion about leaving the kids alone and not pushing anything towards them.
Well, you know what? I feel like I have heard about this now that you're saying it.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
he probably did. So like obviously they were mad at him. And yeah.
So Nick Mercs was against educating kids on the LGBTQ community just because he thinks that it's something that shouldn't be taught in
Yeah,
schools.
I think he went on like stream and explained like what he meant. Like he doesn't want his kids to learn that stuff in school. Like he wants that to be taught at home.
Yeah.
And obviously people didn't like that.
Which is a fair.
Yeah, it's like it's not hurtful to anyone.
It's
like
a-
I want to teach my kids.
I just think it's hurtful to the LGBTQ community. And that's why I feel like maybe
yeah.
he got a lot of pushback. It's like, it's offensive to them that we don't want to allow our kids to learn about those things at school.
That's true. But my problem was with that, then they have a problem with us teaching them about Christianity.
Yeah, like they want to take the Pledge of Allegiance and things like that out of church, but they want to replace it
Church.
with. Huh? I'm sorry.
Pledge of Allegiance.
School.
Like, yeah, like they don't want prayer at school. They don't want to talk about God at school. But they
Which-
do, but they're okay with talking, about sensitive topics to little kids, who don't know what's right or wrong yet.
So what you think is that the solution to it is just to leave all sensitive topics out and just teach regular curriculum,
Yeah, just teach me math, science,
history. But that's where
teach me how to do my damn taxes,
Yes.
teach me how to freaking budget a checkbook.
teach me why the hell my credit matters more than my name.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I understand that, but at the elementary school level, we're not learning these. Well, I mean, we're
That's
not
true.
learning it at all, actually.
Not true. But so like this goes like further because so he's obviously a big streamer. He's followed by a lot of people. So you guys know Call of Duty, right? The game Call of Duty. He had his own skin.
Oh, wow.
Him and some other you don't know
His
him.
own skin.
And they took it
Yeah.
away?
Hold on. So him and Tim the Tatman, another streamer.
It's like a uniform that you can
Yeah.
buy.
Oh, okay.
So
Online.
it's like the character. So like he had a character in the game, which is like, there's the companies worth billions of dollars,
Yeah, it's like a big
and they were
deal.
making a lot of money from his skins.
Oh.
So what they did because of the backlash he was receiving, they pulled his skin. So like they weren't selling it no more.
That's messed up.
But this is where it gets interesting. But this company, Activision, I think it's like 2020, 2021, they were getting sued for like sexual misconduct. So like a lot of women that worked there like sued because they were getting sexually harassed and stuff.
And he makes one comment, so
Yeah, and one comment.
they take it away
and
from
they
him.
take everything. Well, not everything because he's still big. Like people still follow him.
But it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal that he got his
Well,
skin.
if anything, I think them pulling his skin hurt them more because they weren't making money from it no more.
Right.
Like he obviously probably was getting a cut, but like so then people were mad at this company because they were trying to cancel him too.
Yeah, you know what? I think what they were trying to do is protect their butts because they knew that they were like dealing with a lawsuit. So Nick Mercs drawing attention to them was gonna give people a reason to dig and to reach.
No, because he was like still playing the game and stuff. So they brought attention to themselves.
That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't say that. I was getting there, I guess. Yeah. I think they thought like we need to get this guy
they were trying
out
to
of
be
here.
Woke.
Yeah, they were trying to be
because like, hey, aren't you in that lawsuit that your head people are, sexually harassing women?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it backfired on them.
Yeah.
But their intention was to
appease the people that were coming after him.
Yeah, and to be like, we don't associate with this man. When in reality they associate with some other negative things. Damn.
Well, you see that a lot though. If you really pay attention, everyone who tries to cancel someone has something worthy to be canceled for too.
Yeah, they have something to hide.
And so I'm just like, why does this even exist? Nobody's perfect. Everyone has something to be canceled for.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think that it's different because when it comes to big influential brands that with a lot of like the problem here is money.
Yeah.
When you have when you are a predator and you're broke, you're causing damage. But when you have a predator and when you're a predator and you're rich, like the amount of damage is just maximized. The people that you can reach, the Balenciaga thing. I mean, I know that you think cancel culture is not biblical, but at the same time, so that means that we should let these multi-million-dollar companies expose children just because it's not biblical, but it's also not biblical what they're doing.
Right.
So it gets really confusing. And I think it's something we can ask Jesus when we get to heaven.
Yeah. And you know what? I think when it comes to things like Balenciaga, it's because cancel culture, I think people are taking it out of context or like getting out of hand with it. They want to cancel everyone. I do believe that there are things like Balenciaga that why are you going to support a company that is trying to groom children?
So anything children related can get canceled?
I would say yes, because that's our future. Like if you are an attack on our kids, you're an attack on the purpose that God has for their lives.
Yeah, and I mean, let's change it, right? Because they should be. Because what is like it takes us back. So what does canceling even mean? It never even works. They always resurface. They come back.
Yeah, cancel culture never works.
So it never. It's just.
Well, I mean, it worked.
I think cancel culture is just a Western thing too.
And I was gonna say this makes sense with what you're saying. If cancel culture never works, it never solves the problem, then it has to be anti-biblical because it doesn't fix anything. It just becomes a whole crowd of people throwing stones, and no one's changing.
There's certain situations where it has worked, but I feel like it's mostly against companies. But it's rare when it's like one specific person.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I agree. Because I can't think of a single person that was canceled that didn't come back.
Yeah.
Or weren't forgiven.
So
like
then,
Logan Paul.
Do you guys think it's okay to do it towards companies, but not just individual people?
Yeah, I think so. Because a company is run by so many people that you attack. Like you're not attacking a person. You know what I mean? Like at this point, we're not like sinning against like casting stones at a person. We're trying to break down a systematic issue.
Yeah.
And it works. And we do need that change. But when you're just attacking one sole person, when we know that down deep, like they are being run by so many other people, then it's really detrimental to that one person and maybe borderline unfair. Do they deserve it? I mean, life's unfair. Hey, but actually, I think that it makes more sense.
Maybe we should just change the name to it then.
Yeah.
To cancel culture? Yeah.
What would you call it?
That's a good question.
Dismantling
systemic
institutions of
that's already too long.
exclusivity.
Let me ask you this. Let me play the devil's advocate. Do you think sometimes as Christians we like feed too much into like symbolism and
Oh yeah.
and like this is satanic
Yeah.
company because
Yeah.
of this and this.
I do think so.
Because I remember
the Build-A-Bear thing. Do you guys remember the Build-A-Bear thing that
I don't
popped
even
up?
want to talk about it.
I don't know if you're a Christian that's watching. I don't know if this ever happened to you when you were young, but in the culture, we're almost in the culture, at least in the.
He was gonna say
This
something. You
part
totally
of-
cut him off.
Sorry, go ahead.
no.
You wanna termina.
I wanna hear. I don't know what you're talking about.
There was a time when Build-A-Bear became a thing, was when in like early 2000s, maybe, right? They started saying it was demonic because you were putting a heart into a bear, and there was symbolism there because you were giving it a life, and so it was anti-biblical to give something life if it wasn't given through God.
Yeah, like we were playing God,
Yeah.
bro.
Now that I think about this, I'm just like, no.
So
no.
what you're saying is sometimes Christians we be reaching too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
There were a
go
lot
get a
of-
Build-A-Bear because I never was able to have one because of that.
I think I had one.
I had one too, and I got it thrown
And
away.
there's, like,
And
other
I'm the only
examples that-
and I'm the only heathen in this friend group. So clearly,
What?
it wasn't. If you
I just do think that when we learn certain things, there needs to be like concrete evidence. Because then we fall on that same boat of us like idolizing certain things. So then we go against the Bible because we begin to idolize these things that are not accurately like accurate. And so then we become sinners in that aspect because we're doing the same thing
What are you
everybody else is
talking
doing.
I don't know.
What are you talking about? Then we go from
We'll
Build-A-Bear to
just say what we're
idolizing.
gonna say.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna give more examples of like things that as Christians we what?
You're so mean to her, bro.
How?
What are you talking about again?
Well, no, it's because she started talking about like idolizing. Like I like lost
Because we
her
begin to
train of thought.
idolize the intentions of people, and that's still idolization.
Oh. Let's go with, like I was blanked out, so all I heard was Build-A-Bear and then
Exactly. I'm sorry.
then idolization.
First of all, it's idolatry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna give more examples of.
So foolish. No, it might be true. It might be a. it might be a word. Go.
That's so funny.
We don't want your examples. We're sick.
And I was gonna say like, I'm not gonna say who, but like when we were growing up, like oh this specific brand is demonic, like Monster. I remember I posted a picture with the Reebok, and someone commented, what
Marca
did they say?
del Diablo.
Marca del Diablo. I was like,
you
huh? I was
serious?
like, what? Well, it's funny because you don't know who said that. And then you.
Oh, it is.
No, you don't know who said that.
I thought you were saying I did my
I was like,
back.
no, she didn't.
So I was like, so imagine me being like a young Christian, like, what does it mean? I was like, what do you mean
Right.
I'm wearing a Marca the Demonio shoe?
Reeboks are comfortable too.
And honestly, at that point, like when we're kids, like it's just annoying because
So then, like, I grew up like hating as a Christian. I hate like, oh no, I'm not gonna wear Reebok because it's the Marca the Demonio.
dude, it's just annoying because as kids we're so easily influenced, and then we grow up and we realize that we need our own relationship with God so that we can decide what our like what we want to believe,
Right.
And we can't just fall for everything,
Right.
Not even if someone who's influential in
Right.
the Christian world says it.
True.
No, yeah, that's so true.
And that's a good note to end on. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Usually Best of
Shall we
Friends.
cancel Julissa? Yes.
We'll see
Wait,
you guys.
I feel like we gotta
No.
clear the air about some things.
Wait,
About what?
You know, we're not haters of any
community. No.
You know,
No.
like for me personally, like do as long as you're not hurting anyone or kids, like do what you do, believe
Yes.
what you want to believe.
I think that's a takeaway. As long as you're not hurting kids, kids.
Literally.
Kids that are vulnerable and they can't defend themselves.
Oh, and also other people. Like,
Yeah,
Right.
to
Mainly
others
kids.
or
Anyone that is
people.
part of that children group, disability group.
women, men, just don't hurt other people.
Yeah.
And try not to hurt yourself because
believe
you're.
what you want to believe. Whether I agree with it or not, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to you.
And
Yeah, it
if
doesn't
you're,
Just do
and
your
this is
thing.
a special message for those who identify as a Christian. Don't be a reason why someone else trips, okay? I hope you take
Don't
that
be
with
the
you.
rock.
Don't be the stumble.
Don't
Just
make
low
someone
key
else
be that
stumble.
rock sometimes.
Me?
Just kidding.
We'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.
Play the music.
That's so funny, dude. That is so funny.